Yeah. Whoa. What you call a young king living? T'Challa of Wakanda off-grid, no visits.
And this is a spoiler. This is going to be a spoiler review from literally this moment forward. We're only talking about if you've seen this movie. This is for questions, comments. This is us, two black Americans, one who's actually from Africa, who's seen the motherland. I've never seen it. Good God, I'm trying to get there. And another individual who is absolutely bananas about comics. I fucking love them. I obsess about them. If I could, I would sell everything in my house. I'd wear the same outfit every day, and I spend all of my money on comic books, and I never buy a subscription to anything else ever again. A spoiler for anyone who has not watched the pod. You gotta watch the movie before you watch this podcast. Cause if you get mad at me talking about, oh, you telling me spoilers, well, nigga, I didn't know you was watching the podcast. You should have said something. I would have warned you. You gotta speak up. All right. I just want to introduce everybody. This is one of my closest childhood friends, Dubem. I've known Dubem since the 6th grade. We've grown up together. And I invited him onto my podcast / YouTube thing that I'm working on here because Dubem and I, plus our other friend who I had on the first episode, Titus, when we all met in college, we all sat down and spoke about this thing called Black Panther. The young black coalition that we were at that time. And we all said back then how powerful of a movie Black Panther would be if ever made. But we argued that it wouldn't get made due to that people might not be ready for it. And me and Dubem have been going back and forth about how much people have needed Black Panther since we met. I mean, Dubem's a big fan of comic books like myself. I don't know if he reads them as much as I do. I know I've definitely talked his ear off many a days about comics. But I know that when we both heard, I know that as soon as I heard that Black Panther was coming out, I called Dubem. And man, I think that was probably the most exciting news I had heard since Obama was going to be president. To be honest, to be honest, I think that was the most exciting thing that I had ever heard, due to the fact of there are not a lot of events where you see a united black front in America. And just watching the premiere this weekend of Black Panther, I have enjoyed social media so much. Like, everybody's showing up in beautiful African garb around the world.
Yes.
I will say that I did laugh at all the moniker jokes and memes of white dudes and dashikis, but seeing all that black beauty just walking around, the people dressed up in normal, like in African garb, and I don't know much about African garb because I'm not African. I'm African American. I know American garb. So I'm loving all of this beautiful personification of the motherland of Africa, of the people from Africa. But I want to know, like, you being someone who actually like has seen both sides, being African, being from America, how do you like see Black Panther in the sense of like its importance culturally to you as someone who like literally is, kind of living both sides of what it means to be American? On one side, you literally have family, friends, and people who still live in Africa, and at the same time, you still are from America. You've grown up here. You spent plenty of time here.
Man, that's all good. It's all good, man. Yeah, this is actually really, really refreshing. Because I will applaud Marvel for actually stepping into that realm of showing what it's like to, be a part of a continent that's very, very well known, has many resources, is very beautiful, and they actually made it realistic to what people of our age are going through right now.
Right, and boy, man, I've been. I could not agree more about that last statement, that it was really made to hit home with the group of Americans living right now. If you saw this movie in the 1960s, this might not hit you the same way it's hitting me right now. I have had such an overwhelming sense of emotions kind of walking out of this film through the last couple of days as I've sat down and I've really reanalyzed it in my head, because you know how I do. I'm breaking it down piece for piece, scene for scene. I'm looking up everything I may have missed, any possible little tidbit. I'm doing the most amount of research. You know this. I'm going to do the most amount of research. I'm going to be excessive because for me, the Marvel MCU is like a fanboy sadistic dream come true. It's something that I thought about and dreamt of my entire life, but watching Blade, watching Punisher, watching some of like the classics, the personal classics to me of Marvel that came out before the MCU, I didn't ever believe that was going to be something that... I never believed that we would be seeing Infinity Wars, Black Panther, Captain Marvel... I never believed that we would be at a point where we're rounding the third Thor Ragnarok movie and Asgard is gone. I can't believe the things that have happened in the sense of I didn't believe that Disney would allow Marvel to take it this far. And I feel like they are trying to keep very close to their comic book roots, but you can still tell that these movies are made to produce money. And damn it of all, I'm going to give them the money because... consistently, they're understanding where they're taking L's and they're correcting them.
Exactly.
And that's what I love about them.
Yeah, and this is I know you and I we talked about this yesterday about Black Panther.
Mm-hmm.
We were saying that Black Panther had a very good way of sticking to almost like a comic book roots, and you said something about the cinematography as well.
Yes. And I looked up more about it. We're going to talk about it.
Mm-hmm. So it's really, really good how they're evolving.
I agree.
Into how, like how they can cater to comic book people, how can they cater to moviegoers, but especially if you nail the comics in the right way, you can pull in everybody.
Yes. Okay. See, and the thing is that I'm looking at the overall span of movies because, see, everybody likes to break things up into franchises, so it's like not everybody's taking losses, but you know how I grill the MCU. I grill the entire franchise across the board over the same critiques consistently. Because see, I'm not gonna franchise brand the whole movie. Like, I'm not gonna judge all of comic book movies the same because they're in different franchises owned by different companies, so they can take different liberties. Like, I can't judge Deadpool the same as I can judge the Avengers, but I can judge Deadpool the same way I can judge like a Logan or like a Blade, like a rated R specifically made to be a violent film, and that's where I keep those judgings. But for the MCU, I keep it within its own bracket. Within itself, it is, the movies are only judged against the other movies. Right now, I would have to argue that Black Panther has shot to the top of the list because, to be honest, it has introduced one of the best villains since Obadiah Stane from Iron Man 1, maybe, or
wow,
Loki. I'm gonna be real. I'm gonna be real. The guy from Civil War, boo boo. Straight up fact to me. He's not a good villain.
The later two Iron Mans.
The amount of things that you lost between the original Zemo from the comic books and the Baron Zemo that we see on screen is so far. It's
frustratingly different.
Okay, so he should be a badass.
A beast.
But instead, like, I will even forgive his Sokovia treatment, but the problem is that now that you've introduced Eric Killmonger, the first person that I compare him to is the other Special Forces person that was able to knock out a major power by himself, and that would have to be Baron Zemo. Baron Zemo used Winter Soldier, a series of plots that had no relation to him, before getting his hands dirty and really being like, look, I did this, just so you know. I am behind this. There was a vast amount of things that had to occur before he just came out and was like, I'm the villain. And usually I love that. The difference here is that Baron Zemo in the comic books would do all of that, and then still at the very end sequence, once Cap and Iron Man are done fighting it out, he would then fight Cap.
Yeah.
Because he's still mad about shit. He doesn't give a look. Because because he knows Captain America didn't finish the job. He could have gone toe-to-toe with Black Panther, and on the cliff to catch everybody off guard. Everybody thinks he's gonna kill himself. Then he boom, boom, boom. Black Panther's like, you can't fuck with me. And then he's like, oh no, but I can. And he's like, oh shit, whoa, what's going on here? Why can you fight at this capacity? And then he's like, oh, you think after Sokovia I didn't get enhancements?
Honestly, in the MCU, he should probably be OP.
He should be one. Look, because he should be their replacement for Red Skull. This is the thing that I've always argued. The biggest issue with the MCU is that their villains are pieces of shit. None of their villains are memorable. This is the first memorable villain since the Iron Dude from the Iron Man 1. I really only know Obadiah Stane's name because he's played by one of my favorite actors.
The good thing about him being the villain in Killmonger is one, he was extremely relatable. That was one thing.
Yes.
Extremely relatable to whatever fight that anyone's going through. Extremely relatable. Two, you actually found something in a movie that could take down the hero.
Yes. All right, so Eric Killmonger, in my opinion, might be the best villain in the MCU. Now, the MCU has a huge list of villains. We're talking so far in the MCU, we've got Red Skull from Captain America. We've got the Ironmonger from Iron Man. We've got the two other Iron Man villains, which are not Venkov, but whatever the Russian dude from Iron Man 2. And then we've got the guy who ran AIM in Iron Man 3, who Pepper killed with a bloody fist of death. We've also got Blowski from the Incredible Hulk. Okay, we've got Loki from the first Avengers and Thor 1. And then we've also got from Guardians of the Galaxy, we have the guy from the first Guardians of the Galaxy, Ronan the Conqueror, or the Accuser, or I think Accuser or Conqueror, whatever that guy, Ronan the dude with the hammer. Okay, we have Thanos, Malekith from the Thor movie, the second one, the Winter Soldier, but now he is a good guy. Okay, so he doesn't count anymore. But then we've got, outside of that, Baron Zemo, and the Vulture. You know? From Spider-Man. So if those are all of our villains, right off the bat, we haven't seen Thanos. So really, we can't even talk about how great of a villain he is, because so far he's played the sideline game for almost, I'd argue, probably anywhere from 3 to 5 years. Look, if he would have pulled up on Earth right after Loki dropped the ball, he wouldn't be dealing with half the problems he's about to deal with now. Half the problems. Now he's about to deal with a fully armored and ready to go Black Panther who's unified with Iron Man. So those are two huge resources combined together. You got Spider-Man, who's never going to give up. And now you got the potential opening of Doctor Strange and... Look, and this is just me being friggin' hopeful because I'm a nerd. Hopefully, Doctor Strange ripping a hole between time and space and letting the X-Men wipe their way through into this universe. But that's just me dreaming. That's just me dreaming. Don't quote me on that. I don't want nobody being like, you told me they were coming. I don't want that. I don't want that.
Just put your hands together. That's all. Just put your hands together.
So pretty much it's like when I'm looking at the list right now, I can't use Thanos. Ronan, I'm really not thinking is a great villain because he was getting he was boosted, bro. He was so boosted by Thanos that it's like, look, Loki and Ronan technically really aren't great villains to me because Loki's plan fell apart, so you're not a good villain. And Thanos' plan doesn't really look so solid either, which is why he has to do the dirty work himself. That means that your first plan was shit. So that's clear. So right now, to me, the Red Skull's plan was also trash because I absolutely hate the first Captain America movie. Good God, there is no worse movie to me than the first Captain America movie. Everything about it sucks. And I'm so glad Wonder Woman did it better. I don't even know where to start and end. I was like, Wonder Woman, you basically copy and pasted Captain America. But boy, you fixed everything I hated about this movie. Oh, you fixed it. Because if I would have found out that the dude on the American side was really Red Skull the whole time, I'd have been like, oh my God, this movie is the shit. But I have dreamed up better scenarios for every single villain in the MCU because I've had the time and the luxury of thinking about how great the franchise could have been if they would have just thought about some comic book elements. Look, people are ready to believe in the unbelievable. Ask Black Mirror. Oh yeah, and Yellow Jacket from Ant-Man. That's another villain I left off because Ant-Man always slips my mind. It always slips my mind. Doctor Strange also. And my thing is that okay, why is it going? Okay, it's calling you again. My bad, Dubem. The reason why I think Killmonger is just shot to the top of my list is that the best villain to me naturally on screen that I've seen throughout the movie series is probably Winter Soldier. Like, Winter Soldier stole the movie from me. I mean, his plans weren't like exactly thought out.
Exactly.
But I love Winter Soldier. Ant-Man has one of the best bad guy versus the good guy fight scenes to me. By far. One-on-one fight scenes.
Yes.
Boy, that end fight sequence, you could not ask for a better one from me. I mean, Killmonger is super duper interesting to me. Not only as a character, his backstory is interesting to me. His motivations seem accurate and well thought out. I empathize on where he's coming from. And it's very rare that I've ever empathized with a villain from the MCU. Like, no, I don't honestly empathize with... I think Loki's the only person I really felt bad about, but Loki's plan in Thor 1 is dog shit. It's literal dog. It's dumb as hell. I'm gonna send a giant robot to kill my human brother. But the hammer that my brother requires to be able to become Thor is only given to people of worth. Now, if I put Thor in a situation where he's worthy, he might fuck around and get the hammer back. Well, that's a problem for me. So, what you should have done was just not do a damn thing and leave his ass on Earth. Thor would have ended up working a construction job, putting a baby in Natalie Portman, and you would have probably never seen him again, bro. This is the final reason why I fucks with Killmonger, and I think he's the best MCU villain by far. Even his death scene is better than everyone else's death scenes. And I've often argued that the reason why MCU villains aren't memorable is because they're all dead. Hard to be remembered when you're dead.
Yeah, okay, can you hear me?
Yeah, I got you. Hold on, I'm trying to see
Okay,
this.
sorry about that. You're kind of Alright.
I'm trying to see if this FaceTime call will work. Hold on.
Try again?
Yeah, I'm gonna see if this. Are you getting this FaceTime call I'm sending you?
Okay, that's fine then.
Alright, but like, even Killmonger. Okay, so, and I was saying this, but we lost connection. But another reason why, or my main reason why I feel like Killmonger is one of the MCU's strongest villains to date is that even his death is extremely memorable.
It tugs at a lot of heartstrings.
Oh my God, does it tug at a lot of heartstrings? Like, if it didn't run home the absolute divide between the two of them, man, I was like, I cannot believe what he... Oh my God. Because my thing with Black Panther is that I'm pissed about how at one point he's like, yo, I'm on this kill path. I'll kill anyone that I have to. How is your moral compass deciding on these things? Because it seems like you're holding back at the wrong times. And I'm not understanding why.
That tripped me out a little bit, honestly.
Oh my goodness, bro! I almost shed a tear when I heard that line. Like, and for all of you that might have forgotten what the line, for all of you who don't know what line we're talking about, are looking over a beautiful Wakandan sunset over this hillside after carrying him to the top after their final fight. They're looking at each other, and Wakanda and T'Challa says, "Hey, I think we can heal you and get you back together." And Killmonger looks at him and goes, "So what? You can put me in a cell for the rest of my time? Nah, I'm good. When I die, throw me in the ocean like my ancestors, because they knew better that death was a better reward than bondage, or that death was better than bondage, something of that magnitude." And I promise you, in my heart, I felt the ultimate like want to just be like, burn, my nigga. Burn. That's I am going to give you the ultimate Wakandan burial because, good God, if you didn't make me feel like an asshole before, you made me feel like an asshole now.
Exactly. If that didn't do anything, that was it right there. Oh, that line really stuck me because, like, till the very end, he didn't really compromise himself.
Yeah, like, even to the very end, he knew exactly who he was, even to the last moment. And you see, and that's why I don't respect Zemo in comparison to Killmonger. Killmonger fought to the very last second. Zemo was gonna shoot himself. You have schemed and planned out one of the most brilliant civil wars to date between the small but growing superhuman community that you know of. And you've gotten these people to tear each other apart. Now, you at some point didn't think that you were going to have to come down to a fist-to-fist fight with one of these guys? That seems stupid. You know? Like, that. So what was your plan if these guys caught up to you before your plan finally finished? You were going to shoot yourself? You were going to do all this to shoot yourself? Damn, that's dumb. That's so dumb. If you're going to kill yourself, because you know, my thing is if you're going to kill yourself, kill one of them too, because they took your family from you. Don't just kill yourself, because you're gonna tell yourself as you kill yourself that, oh, it's okay because they're at each other's throat. Do you know how quickly people forgive each other? Look, Zemo, you're gonna look really stupid in 3 years and really pointless in death when Thanos comes and makes Iron Man and Captain America be friends together, because it's either be friends or all of Earth dies.
Exactly.
You know, this is what I'm talking about when I say that, like, the MCU is wasting potential villains, because I even understand that the MCU is building up for the potential of handing the reins of all of the people from phase 1, 2, and 3 never coming back, and then 4, 5, and 6 being a whole new Avengers cast with, like, Captain America being in the background or being like a Nick Fury type now. And even with that, the best way to solidify your characters is to use villains that took on their mentors to prove that they are now at the same capacity or capability of their mentors. You see what I mean? Like, what happens when Captain America passes the shield to Bucky or to Falcon or to anybody who potentially he passes the shield to, okay? And who's he gonna fight? His own new set of villains? No. You know what would really drive it home? If he fought the Red Skull. If he fought Baron Zemo. If he fought people from his own mentor's rogue gallery. The reason why shows like Batman Beyond work are because at the end of the day, Terry McGinnis is fighting people who are, at the end of the day, the future versions of very similar people from Batman's rogue gallery. So Batman can help and instruct him on the path to beat these people so that way Terry knows that he's at the same capacity of his mentor, but in a different world, in a different time period, in a different era. I'm seeing the list. It's very small. It's Yellow Jacket. It's Winter Soldier. It's Killmonger, for sure. It's Loki, due to the fact that he's in 2 movies as a villain, but now he's not even a villain. He's like a weird half anti-hero, half in it for himself.
Exactly.
But that is Loki. That is the epitome of the character named Loki. That is who he is in the comic books. I don't think that Tom Hiddleston is dropping the ball in any way in his representation of Loki. Now, I also believe that Black Panther killed Killmonger way too early. I think that because Black Panther showed the capabilities to stop someone from killing themselves in Civil War, he should have put that same tact and same stopping people from killing themselves into his own cousin's death. And that's exactly why I was upset with that scene. Because a movie before, there is an extremely similar scene between you and a man who killed your father. Okay? You have no reason to save this man's life. You have no reason to stop this man from killing himself. But yet you do. This is your cousin. You have every reason in the world to save this man's life. You have every reason in the world to stop this man from killing himself and to show him that he can actually be a part of Wakanda. He can be a part of the people. But in order to do that, he has to let go of this hatred in his heart for everything else. Because you know what would be an amazing situation for Black Panther 2? W'Kabi being the villain, starting a coup with his people, and T'Challa fighting side by side with Killmonger.
That would have been perfect.
That would have been such a beautiful second movie. But see, and this is just and that was a free one. That was just a freebie for the streets. That was just something I was thinking in the theater, like, man, y'all are again sitting on so much wasted potential. But the reason why Eric's gonna be an amazing remembered villain is that his death was extremely memorable. It's one of the most memorable deaths I've seen in a long time. It shook me to my core watching him die.
Mm-hmm.
Because for the first time since maybe like 2008 Joker, I absolutely agreed with the villain the entire film. The entire film I sat there thinking, damn, I would be on Eric's side the whole movie. I don't want to be, but TBH. Look, as an American, I have watched black people be treated the worst. Our history in America is the worst. Everything about our time in America has been some of the worst things that have come across human history. And the fact that I now find out that somewhere in the world there was an African nation that could have stopped it all, and they never did a thing. No, we're going to talk about that. No, we're going to need to talk about that. That's real upsetting, like real mad upsetting. I'd be livid. Like I would be ready to fight straight up. I wouldn't even lie. I'd be like, so let me get this straight. Yeah, how long have you guys been in existence? Since the beginning of time? We're gonna have some problems then.
Yeah, we gotta talk about it.
We gotta talk about some things. So when the rest of us were, when we were getting enslaved, and you saw those white men taking us from Africa to America, and you had the capability to get to America and bring us back, why didn't you do anything? Man, and honestly, this is the other thing. I honestly believe Killmonger could have been his own movie, video game, or comic book series, MCU-wise. Because his backstory sounds...
Oh.
Yeah, and I was like, that's great.
Like I was saying, like, his backstory, he's done so much to build up to that point, to face Black Panther, yes, but he's done so much in the back. Who knows what he could have been doing?
Who knows what he could have been doing?
Who knows if he even saw, like, a whole bunch of super beings beforehand, too. Like, who knows what happened? All this stuff is covert. So who knows who he could have killed? Who knows who he could have battled? Who knows what he knows?
Right. Like, who knows what he knows? Who exactly? That's the scariest thing. Who knows? So, okay, so this is going to lead into our other topic. So, me and Dubem had a theory yesterday. Me and Dubem love to do this from time to time in the MCU when they don't fill in the blanks for us. We like to just make up a theory on Eric Killmonger's backstory for the MCU. So, my theory yesterday was that Eric Killmonger, because he was raised in Oakland, and please to God, nobody judge me for saying this. It's just my theory based off of the things that he said when he was in the sacred temple burning the heart-shaped herb, okay? Based off of what he said, he has been killing for a long time. It sounded like, based off of what he was saying, that he was killing prior to getting to the military. Now, he doesn't seem like a serial killer to me, but he does seem like a kid who could be easily convinced into, like, I don't know, potentially being in a gang due to the fact of he has no father. He lives in what I would say is just, I can't tell the area, but I mean, they couldn't afford a basketball hoop, so that does worry me. Potentially, he became a gangbanger at like 14 or 15. And that he had bodies on him, and that the reason why he was a graduate of like the military super special Annapolis program at like 19 was because he got sent to the military early due to the fact of it was either he goes to the military or they're sending his black ass to prison. I'm using that because I'm combining what Ross tells us, that he's U.S. Special Forces and that he's on a super secret Black Ops squad of U.S. Special Forces, specifically trained to do something very similar to another character in the MCU that we also know is great at this. aka the Winter Soldier. So basically, Killmonger is in a Winter Soldier-esque program for the U.S. government, and his entire job is to fight, take down, neutralize enemy territories. Like how he knew the exact texture and feel of what was vibranium. So another topic that I wanted to talk about from the movie was the poison thing, the middle fight sequence. I've always said that action movies need three fight scenes for them in order for them to really be a good movie. This movie had 4, and that's more than enough, as you can imagine. I personally think that in the fight scene versus Black Panther versus Killmonger on the ridgebank, on the riverside, on the riverbank, like the sacred place where they have Challenge Day, I honestly believe that Black Panther was poisoned in that sequence because Killmonger put poison on his blades, thanks to Daniel, I forgot the dude from Get Out's character who plays basically the leader of the Blue Rhino tribe. And I personally think that he was so mad about Claw, and that the fact that Killmonger had brought him Claw, that he helped Killmonger get the throne because he knew that he would be a king that does what he says.
Right.
So I honestly believe that he helped poison him with a unique type of like poison that can get and affect Wakandans specifically.
And I did agree with that, and I think I said this a little bit earlier in the discussion too. The only counter I have to that is, again, I'm bringing up this past experiences because, again, who knows what he fought in his previous experiences?
Yeah.
I think he said he even fought another Wakanda, if I'm not mistaken, in the movie. He said, I even killed some of my own brothers.
See, and by that, and that's the thing. When he said that line, I took that as American brothers, and that he was like killing black people as like gangbanging. See, that's how I took that as. I took that as gangbanging in Oakland, and I was like, damn. And all that death was to get here, and I was like, okay, damn, you killed a lot of people.
That's true.
But I don't know. I mean, he killed.
Exactly.
He killed Bay, bro. I mean.
In cold blood.
In cold blood, like it wasn't nothing. It's okay. But yeah, man, I mean, when I saw that scene, I was like, bro, I think you low-key poisoned him, because all of a sudden, before he landed that first blow with the knife, T'Challa was moving so much faster than him. And he, at the very beginning of the fight with Killmonger, had him so outpaced. And I was like, okay, you're going to easily win this fight unless Killmonger cheats or something. And then all of a sudden, Killmonger lands one blow and the tide completely turns. And I was like, bro, didn't you just get rocked like 2 seconds ago? You should be pretty dazed and confused. This should be a pretty balanced fight. It shouldn't be like one cut. One cut shouldn't decapacitate someone who's been training since he was a child to fight people.
True.
Because, look, okay. The only thing that I could compare that fight to, honestly, is the fight in The Dark Knight Rises with Bane versus Batman, where it's two people of very similar calibers, but the thing that makes that fight make sense is that Bane is a young man and Batman is an old man with already injuries. Both of these dudes are young, so. And I know the Bims play devil advocate, and this is why I'm really starting to give his thing weight. I honestly don't know what Eric's gone up against, though. I guess in my mind, I've always assumed that most of his fighting was gun combat, so he's much of a gunfighter. But he sure seemed to know what he was doing with those blades, though.
I'm telling you, like, he was treating them like he was like other appendages.
And that's the thing that I see, that because he could have easily fought with a spear. He could have fought sword spear combo, but no, he shows that he's much more comfortable fighting with a 2-hand sword combo, which means that he's had time to practice 2-hand sword combat pretty thoroughly too.
He was good, yeah.
Yeah, because that wasn't some of the moves that he was doing. I was like, these aren't no easy feats, bro. The heavy weapon that's in his left hand, the one that's not a spear, that looks like a heavy sword. That does not look like no light sword at all. That would look like a pretty pure iron sword. So I'm just assuming that does not take an easy amount of strength to weigh. And he was moving with that bad boy like a knife through butter.
Like for real, like gracefully. He was looking fantastic during that fight.
That was a great one.
It's like, exactly, and it's like, okay, you're going up against a person that, like you said, literally has been going through this since he was able to walk.
Right.
Pretty much. So Killmonger must have gone through something similar to be able to go up to par with him. Even if he did get poisoned, and I'm really starting to think about that too, because something as quick as one slice shouldn't have been able to, like bring him down like that.
But it definitely changed the entire wave of the fight within minutes, within seconds.
Exactly. But it's like, what did Killmonger go through to actually get that expertise?
Right.
In, weaponry.
Because in my mind, T'Challa overcame what I would argue was a concussion at the first fight. He was dazed and confused and and risked throwing himself off of a waterfall in order to win that fight. So that fight was really won by a combination of knowing the environment and just like luck. This fight was coming down to straight skill at the end of the day. I honestly don't know. I don't know, but it felt like Killmonger had the upper hand when it came to skill, and I just don't understand how that's possible. T'Challa is the equivalent of Bruce Wayne, and Bruce Wayne ain't got no equivalent. Except for T'Challa. That's the only thing that you can compare Bruce Wayne to, is Black Panther. The only thing I've ever compared Bruce Wayne to is another Bruce Wayne from an alternate universe or Black Panther, because they're the only two people who are on the same toe-to-toe basis. Man, but it's really hard to tell in that fight scene if he got poisoned, or the other theory that I had was maybe he held back on some Bruce Wayne I will not kill type shit.
Oh.
Because you're family. Because you're the only last living relative of this side of the family that I know. I know that I used to have an uncle, but nobody ever told me what happened to my uncle. Now I know what happened to my uncle, and I want to reconnect with you because I feel like you're my family, but bro, you're after the throne. And that's what I think. Like, I think at first he was holding back, but he was clearly beating him. So it was like, I don't have to go full strength against you. But then he hits him with the blade, that one nick, and he poisons him. And then it's like, damn, now I'm really trying to catch up, but it's too late. Poison's already in there. Each time you move, you're just slowing down a little bit more, a little bit more, a little bit more. Now you're getting two-pieced.
He probably could have been holding back, and then after that 1 second, like, something's a little off. Let me try to get back in the game. Then
it's too late. It's too late. Not very well for the people fighting this guy. They don't live. They all die. So please let them stop fighting. Where the king shows up in Oakland, but once you find all that out, I was like, bro, you're dead. I
was like, you did something.
Oh, the other thing I like about Michael B. Jordan is just how he played the character. Like, the fact that he kind of has like a grill in and that he kind of like keeps his bottom lip open gives his character like this unique kind of like grisly distinction. It's hard to be argued, but I don't know if Black Panther got his ass kicked or he held back, bro. It's hard. I don't know if he got poisoned, he got that ass kicked, or if he held back. I want people to,
that's something to think about.
Anybody listening, anybody who ends up like really watching this whole podcast with me and Dubem, tell me if y'all think that he got his ass kicked or if y'all think that he just lost the fight. Like he just was holding back and he lost. But I personally kind of think he got that ass kicked. I think he got worked, bro. I think he got that 2-piece sandwich combo.
That's the work.
He got that work, bro. And then he got his ass Lion King'd off the hill. That shit. So, like, we've talked about Black Panther, if he was poisoned in the movie, why Eric Killmonger is the best villain of the MCU, Eric Killmonger's backstory. All right, let's get into something a little bit more fun, a little bit different. What were your 3 favorite moments from the movie?
3 favorite moments. Okay, let's see. One of them would have to be the casino fight.
Okay.
I don't know why, but it just, when I heard I've been compromised, take my wig off, pull the spear out, let's start messing up people. Like, I don't know why, Because that too, and this is just like a personal thing of mine, but seeing like a strong woman take control, start whooping ass, I was like, okay, I mess with it.
The casino fight scene is an MCU tradition that I believe, and my heart of hearts, needs to be in every single MCU film. I think every single MCU film needs at least one full through, no stop motion action sequence, even if it's just 1 minute long. I think that it brings so much to the movie's depth, and it's so similar to what you feel when you're watching a comic book. Nice. So nice.
It's beautiful.
And it's you see it in Daredevil. You see it in Daredevil season 2. You see it in the Defenders. It's in the original Avengers. It's in the Avengers 2 as well. But it's not in a lot of the other MCU movies. Just a full flow shot. No stopping, no gaps in it, nothing. No cuts at all.
Exactly. I agree with that.
All right, so what was your number 2 favorite scene?
All right, let's see. You got that, number 1. Number 2 would probably have to be... It would probably have to be the fight scene between Killmonger and T'Challa.
Which one? Oh, in the river? Okay, the river fight?
Because that one is really... It kind of... What I kind of thought was like in a much broader sense, it was like, okay, this is... And I don't want to... This is not like me being a separationist. This is just what I'm observing right now. It's like, okay, on the left side... And T'Challa, you see, those who are still in Africa, those who are still, know the ways or are kind of indebted to roots. Okay. On the right side, we have Killmonger. We see him as an African American, maybe a little bit upset at what's been going on with his dilemma, what's been going on with his people, and you see these two collide, and it's like, if this was a physical bout between two eras, this is what it may look like. So that was one of my second favorite scenes when I was planning about aspect.
See, and that's exactly why I wanted you on this podcast, and because I was like, nobody except for you or Titus could give a better perspective of what this movie really means after watching it. First of all, there's only a very few select bad guys kick your ass and talk to the same guy, and the only bad guys that do this are bad guys that know they've got the fight won. All right, you could see that T'Challa still had a fight in him, but you could see the fight was over.
Exactly.
It didn't matter what, like, he was piecing him up. I felt really bad. I was like, T'Challa, I don't understand. Are you going to break his leg or something or cheat here soon? Because, damn, bro, you're losing. Bad. You're not making any type of weight out of this. Like, none at all. So, none. Okay, what's your number 3?
Okay. Number 3, this is because this was just a grimy, badass, scene of the movie. Okay, so when Killmonger initially came to the throne,
yeah,
and he was talking about, this is also my birthright because I am of blood to be a royalty.
Right.
Okay. Now, up until, I think we talked about this too, up until when they got to the feud, he just says, I don't need any of this. I don't need you. I don't need his weapons. I don't need his country. I just need him.
Right.
That's all I need.
Okay.
T'Challa. Mm-hmm. That was the grimiest thing. I was just like, oh my gosh, it's about to go down in so many ways.
Yeah, that was.
And he's ready.
All right, my top 3 are. My top 3 are, for number 1, is the car chase with Black Panther, Shuri, and the General.
Uh-huh.
Because she is remote controlling one car by just the fact that they threw a little disc on that bad boy. And I was just like, man, that is so cool. That is so cool. I can't beat that. And I was just so blown away how that scene shot with them running through traffic. It reminded me very much of Civil War's scene in the highway, but better. It was like, this is what Black Panther looks like when he's got the full support of Wakanda behind him. Because again, I'm in another foreign country, zipping and driving around. But guess what? This time, nothing bad's going to happen to me. You know why? Because I'm Black Panther. The car chase, like I said, is one of my favorite scenes. It's one of the most memorable moments because it shows off all the power of this country in one scene. The women are powerful. The king is powerful. Everybody's just and when they work together, I mean, they can literally get anything done. It's great. He has his own like Avengers team on it by himself. So that's my number one. My number two scene is the coup. The coup is just beautiful. I love the transition of the coup. First of all, how the coup happens is freaking great. I didn't see him killing Claw happening, so that turn of events caught me off guard. One thing that Americans, especially Black Americans, know very well is we know how to push someone's buttons. Like, Michael B. Jordan basically pokes the bear with the whole group. And he knows T'Challa knows who he is because T'Challa tells him when he walks in the room. But he also figured out that the rest of the room doesn't know. So then, when he's about to get escorted out, just watching the scene where that dude stands up and is like, "Who are you?" And he just is like, "I found my father with panther claws in his chest." Like, he came in, like, basically calls the king a coward, and then everybody's looking at T'Challa like, "Are you gonna let him call your dad a coward, bro?" And he's like, "Look, I don't even really want the throne." The coup scene was beautiful. Watching him throw T'Challa off the waterfall was heartbreaking, and then watching him take the throne was so good. Man, the soundtrack matched the scene so well, and then on top of everything else, his demeanor on the throne just was perfect. He sat on that throne like he knew his entire life that he was supposed to be there, which made me more so believe that he really had done every single thing in his entire life knowing that he was Wakandan and that he was going to come back to kill a Black Panther. He never cared which Black Panther. He just wanted a Black Panther. And you know what would have even made the story better? And I think about this now, and it breaks my heart that I didn't think about it earlier. If we found out that Killmonger was behind Zemo in order to destabilize the Avengers, to get them out of the way, and also to kill the Wakandan king to draw out the Wakandans. See? That then shows the tacticianist abilities of Killmonger and how long he's been waiting this out. Yeah.
Another dimension.
Yeah, another dimension. So my last and final scene that had to make my list is Killmonger's death. Killmonger's death shook me to my core and back because I have always, as I've read the comic books, been faced with the question of what would I do if I had the powers of Black Panther, which means if I had the money, the wealth, the vibranium, and all of the knowledge and training of Black Panther, what would I do with that now ability and knowledge and capability? And I'm sad to say that I think that my initial plan would have been extremely similar to Eric Killmonger's. I wouldn't have told everybody to rise up and just start murdering their closest white person. I would have started a clothing brand specifically targeted at urban America. I would have convinced niggas to buy it. It would have been woven with vibranium fabric, including a hoodie series, so that the next time cops shoot at a black person, them bullets don't pierce, bruh. The next time you try to beat a black man, them wounds don't reach, bruh. None of those clothing, none of that breaks through, bruh. None of that breaks through. And by the time they figure out what we've been doing, it'd have been too late. We would have given them so much knowledge and information. Seems like everybody walks away with a smile on their face happy. It's not like I'm going to take all that money and use it to build myself a freaking mansion. Like Dubem said earlier, he never broke. No matter what happened, he never broke. T'Challa offered him a chance to extend his life, even potentially break out of jail in a couple years or get sympathizers on his side. He said, "Nah, bro, you're not going to put me in bonds like my ancestors. I'd rather die. I'd rather die and go be in the ocean with their bones." That's shaking. That's shaking. You're saying this is a young black American saying this to the first black national multi-billionaire king that he's ever known.
And that's what he told me. That's powerful.
That's so powerful. That's Malcolm X powerful. That's like honorable mentions and honorable moments that need to be at least spoken about. Okay. Shuri's colonizer comment to Everett Ross when he wakes up. Damn, that was funny. That was. I love that. Angela Bassett, Michael B. Jordan. When Michael B. Jordan reveals that he's the related to the royal family, and he goes, "Hey, auntie." Classic.
Oh my god.
Classic.
Oh my goodness. Ryan, quick aside. Do you know how heavy I laughed at that? Because I actually watched the movie with Philip, and in our culture, we say like uncle and auntie a lot, like to family, friends, and all that good stuff. So when he said that, I died because it's like this is what could really happen. If it really happened, it's like, oh, I am.
Right. He just shows up. Hey, auntie. Nigga, you better get away from me. Get away from me, bro. Get away from me, because you playing right now, and I don't like it. I don't like it. You over here cracking jokes, playing games, out here at the same time trying to start a coup. It's not funny. Why you over here laughing? I think that's the thing I liked about Michael B. Jordan's character. He always had this extremely confident smirk on his face the entire movie. And the more that smirk was there, the more I ended up like really starting to believe in his character, because it's like, honestly, he's smiling like this because everything that he said he was going to do, he's done to the letter. Like when he said that he took a lot of what he felt was Killmonger from the Joker, man, I see it. I really do. I really see the comparisons that I can see the little things that he took from Heath Ledger's Joker going into this film. And it's just that consistent personification of your character that you feel throughout the movie with his bad guy. At no point do you ever feel like he could be another actor. He feels like Eric Killmonger. He seems like Eric Killmonger. For a second, I almost forgot he was Michael B. Jordan. Like, I almost forgot about him being in The Wire. I almost forgot about him being in Fantastic Four. I almost forgot about everything else that's come before the actor named Michael B. Jordan. For an hour and a half, I truly believe that this might be his breakout role, and that this is really one of the first times I've ever really seen him at his finest. Like, I'll say this, and many people won't believe this because of how many movies that I watch, but I've actually never seen Fruitvale Station, which is heartbreaking, and I've never seen Creed, which is also heartbreaking. This movie makes me want to. I'm gonna go back and watch those two now, and I'm just saying that this movie was like a breakout wow factor for Michael B. Jordan's acting abilities to me. I agree. Now this is just the last topic of the night, and I'm gonna put up some things. And this is just something. If you've been on social media, you know about this. Dubem, what did you think about everybody showing out to the premieres in like Black, African American, African-centric garb? How did you feel as like an African American going into the theater or going on social media and seeing so many other African Americans, not just here in America, but like around the world, dressing up in this united front to show support for this movie?
Now, well, for one thing, I would say I wore a traditional myself, so I was in full effect. Now, with that's honestly a big, for one, in terms of, I was just thinking like in terms of like a promotional standpoint. Now, one, that's just the movie speaking for itself. Like, you don't have to do any commercials, you don't have to do anything else. Like, in terms of promotion and marketing, that's like good enough on its own.
Right.
Like, you don't have to do anything else. Now, in terms of like the actual, meaning of it or what it's supposed to mean, that honestly did my heart, that did my heart pretty good, because it kind of showed that there is something that people can relate to, or especially like the last time that I've seen such a turnout like this, or something being spoken of so highly, was during, Barack Obama's run and inauguration.
Yeah, and please, everybody who's listening, understand that we're not saying that there are other moments that Black people don't really come together, but we're saying that Barack Obama becoming president was the last black, really only positive situation where black people were together due to a positive situation that brought us all together. This is something that we've all dreamed about, talked about in barbershops, on corners, in the privacy of mostly black circles. And for it to become a reality, and not only a reality, but a reality that is well publicized and released to the world on a public level that the world knows about it, is just such a rare thing. We're used to black movies being something that are only talked about in black communities and then slowly expanding out of that scope so that other communities then want to all of a sudden are interested in it and want to see it. Like, kind of I felt like that with Get Out. That at first it was mostly black people eager to see it, and then black people eagerly told their other race friends about the movie, which kind of got them in there to see it. But with Black Panther, it wasn't any of that. From the moment that Black Panther was announced, after Civil War, black and white fans alike were clamoring to go see it. I think if you ask anybody who's African American or anybody who comes from African descent anywhere in the world, the one thing that we all agree on, that if we could do anything, we would want a united Africa that looks like Wakanda, technologically superior to everybody, and at a point on a psychological and technological level superior to people. It may seem backward to you because you don't understand our culture, but if you came to Wakanda, you would understand that we're more advanced than you socially, as well as we're more advanced than you technologically. I love walking out of Black Panther, getting on my phone and seeing, not in just where I was, but across the world, there are people going to this premiere as if they're going to a New York premiere, as if they're going to a premiere in Kenya, as if they're going to a premiere in Ghana. I'm so happy to see all of this black excellence, black empowerment towards a movie that so pushes and highlights the idea of what it means to be black excellence. Because I feel like Killmonger and Black Panther are like our modern day Martin Luther King, Malcolm X. Who are you, Malcolm X or Martin Luther King? And that was the biggest choice when they're like, you think in the 60s, everybody divided themselves on that line. Who are you, Malcolm X, Martin Luther King? Well, now I feel like people are going to divide themselves on who are you? Are you Black Panther or are you Eric Killmonger? Because you can say whatever you want about Eric Killmonger, he still got on the throne.
There we have it.
So it's like it's a lot of different things going on, but I'm glad to see that there was so much black positivity and black love going around the world with the release of this film. And I hope that this film helps to push a lot of that black love to the limelight, and that people start to see like, oh my God, black is really beautiful, and that black people really do deserve to be leads in a lot more movies because they can really kill this shit.
Oh yeah, I agree.
Well, Dubem, hey man, I want to thank you so much for being on the show today. I know you got to go. I know you got stuff to do and it's getting late. You got a job and stuff you got to work on. But I want to thank you for taking time out of your day to record all this with me, man. I really appreciate it.
Yo, Brian, thank you so much for having me on here, man. It was long overdue that we got to talk about this stuff, and it's always refreshing. So,
man,
I really appreciate you bringing me on.
And bro, I hope it won't be the last one. I hope you'll come back and guest star on some other episodes, and we can hopefully keep the podcast strong.
Amen to that, my dude.
Amen to that.
Yeah, man. Thank you so much for having. Thank you so much for having me on.
No problem. You guys make sure. Dubem, put out all your hashtags and follows, bro. You gotta go follow Dubem. He's a model. If you need a dope African or Black American model in Dallas, make sure you go look up Dubem. He'll kill that shit, man. He's probably he's gonna be a talent.
Yeah, if y'all have IG _Dubem, DUB as in boy, EM. So if y'all just wanna move me up, go ahead. But y'all follow my boy Brian too. He talks about the world. He talks about everything. So.
I appreciate Dubem. I appreciate you so much for coming through, man. I appreciate you so much. Guys, make sure you check out the podcast for everything under the sun. All y'all got to do is just stick around and check it out. I wanted to give a big shout out to my gang of homies, friends, and people who've been fucking with me since I started years ago, just trying to create. So that's going to be the TEG gang. So that's the Third Eye gang. That's everybody who's been with me from when I started this. Y'all all know who you are. People like Dubem, who literally been my friends since I had no friends. I want to shout out to y'all because without y'all, I don't even think I'd be here. So I always shout y'all out, and I always shout y'all out forever. And I really appreciate everybody who listened to this podcast today. Thank you so much. I'm Biz Bazaar. I'm out. Dubem, you got anything to say to the people?
Well, y'all just stay educated. All that good stuff. I can't really say that much. Y'all just keep on this journey we call life. Pretty much.
All right, y'all stay woke. Y'all stay active out there, and
Wakanda forever.
Wakanda forever. All right, y'all. Holla.